Hello, this is Dr. Clint May. In this session, we're going to talk about kids are the church now, breaking free from the 80-20 rule. And I'd say that kids are the church now because of what happens at conversion. The moment they receive Christ, they're sealed by the Holy Spirit. They become a child of God. They're born again. They receive spiritual gifts. They have received a new identity. And so if they receive all these things that adults receive, they are the church now. One of our biggest challenges in the church today is the 80-20 rule. 20% of the people provide the ministry for the remaining 80% who are recipients. Kids are not called to be spectators. Kids are called to serve. In our previous podcast, we talked about spiritual predictors of a child staying in the faith as a young adult, and there was 4 of them, but number 3 was the child served in the church on a regular basis while growing up. So let's look at some ideas here to get you started. Involving children in ministry. Number 1, look for obvious areas where they might serve, okay? Our children's pastors at our church went through our training, and they came back and realized, hey, we've got all these empty spots. We have 2 children's worship services. So they started training their kids, and they had kids teaching. They had kids leading worship. They had children who were running the sound system. They were greeting. They were running their check-in system at the church, and it just took a load off of them immediately. So they were looking for places. They were praying, and God provided that. Don't be afraid to offer them challenging roles for kids, okay? Don't just give them simple jobs. You don't worry about, don't be fearful of offering them something very challenging because they have the gifts. The thing you want to do is help them find places to serve, because in the midst of ministry, their spiritual gifts manifest, okay? Be sure to watch my spiritual gift podcast. That'll help you understand more about spiritual gifts. Provide them with proper training, okay? Don't assume they know what's going on, okay? Provide job descriptions. I had some girls that were having children's worship, and they were running behind the stage in front of everyone during the service, and I got really upset, and they said, well, what? I said, what are you doing? They said, we're helping. I said, you're not helping. You're distracting. But I didn't tell them that, hey, while the service is going on, you need to be sitting and praying for those who are on up front. And if they're teaching or leading worship or prayer, whatever's happening, you need to be praying. You sit with the kids and help them participate. Be excited about it, okay? So job descriptions are really important. Let them know what their responsibility is, okay? Number 6, allow them to be a part of the planning. Let this be their ministry, and that's really important, okay? Allow their job to become their ministry. When you do that, what they do is they pray, and God begins to lead them, and they begin to embrace God's plan and purpose for their lives today. All right? Expect excellence. I expect them to do the best they can do, and no less. All right? Jesus said, Paul tells us, do all things to the glory of God. So expect them to do the best they can do. Number 9, expect them to follow through. My greatest frustration with working with kids was, especially when I was offering them responsibilities, was they would not follow through. And it added stress to me, so I'd give them a pad and paper and a pencil, and I'd say, okay, now you write down what I'm asking you to do. And especially when I was on mission trips, I want you to write these things down to make sure that you follow through and do what I've asked you to do, okay? And that's very important. Make sure they follow through. Okay, number 10, as they're faithful in small things, allow them to go to the next level. And so I had kids who would help me in small things, and as they prove themselves, I would stretch them and challenge them and take them to the next level. All right? Let them own the ministry. Let it be their ministry. Okay, number 12, encourage them to pray and ask the Holy Spirit's leadership. This is so important for kids to understand. This is not your ministry, it's the Lord's ministry, and you ask Him for help and guidance, all right? So I'm going to pop this up real quick. I don't have a lot of time to talk about it. Places they can serve is in children's worship. They can assist in Bible study classes, release them to use their gifts during disciple group time or small group. One church, their kids serve an extended session every Sunday. They rotate through. They can serve in preschool, maybe 2 years and up. Vacation Bible School, our kids served throughout all of Vacation Bible School. They taught, they led songs, they did games, crafts, everything. And then outreaches into your community. That's what we did, was we took Vacation Bible School and we moved it into the community, saved a lot of money, but our kids loved it because they had an opportunity to serve. And then number 8 are mission trips. That's a totally different podcast. But when we went on mission trips, our kids did everything. They taught, they led worship, they counseled, they played with the kids, they fed the kids, and they ministered in their gifts. Well, we want to invite you to visit our website at leadersintraining.com. We have an online training course that's free. You can go on that page, download our handbook, which is 80 pages, and you can get some really good extended training on how to empower kids in your church. Well, God bless you. We'll see you next time.